So for my physical development, I decided to choose the athletics I've done in my life to represent my development. So my first sport was Taekwondo, and I remember being a little 4-year-old at 38 pounds, 3'11", not really knowing what I was doing, and I still don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. But I eventually got my black belt, and it's a sport that I've done the longest. It took me, I think, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years to get it, and yeah, it's just a sport that I fell in love with. Soccer was my second sport, and it's where my endurance and motor skills were crafted. Soccer is a game of endurance, but I didn't really figure that out until my first game. And it's, I think, the game that I'm just always down to play with friends. It's just always fun time. Wrestling is my greatest physical challenge thus far, period, out of any of the physical things I've done. Wrestling is a sport that requires strength, but more so than strength, endurance. And I'm not by any means a state champion, but it's a sport that I put a lot of work in, and I'm really proud of it. And here's just me, just wanting to show off a little, work in the weight room with that 0.5 weight. For cognitive development, I decided to represent this with some of the teachers that have influenced me. So Mrs. Martinez and Mrs. Lawrence were my welcomers into elementary school. And I remember Mrs. Martinez would have Spanish lessons through Maria the hand puppet, and that was just really exposing me to my pre-operational stage. Animism was very present, with me always playing with Legos and makeup during recess. And I just remember I would just draw a lot and just write in my journal. My most memorable year of elementary school was 6th grade, and a big part of it is because of Mrs. Cortez. And she's a woman who is an amazing teacher, greater than teacher, friend as well. And she's a woman who really taught me a lot, and my love for history, I think, is derived from her. And she's currently not teaching, but because she's taking care of her 2 daughters, but hopefully after her daughters are all grown up, she'll enter the education field again. And this is the infamous Miss Pratt-Haskins. If you're a Rocky Run student, this is the one teacher who everyone fears. And when I had her, I hated this woman, straight up. But now that I really look back at it, she was a woman who really, really instilled the question why into me. And she was a woman who really questioned, understood, and had a love for science. So thank you, Miss Pratt-Haskins. I know I didn't show my appreciation when I had you, but I'm really thankful for it. And so for moral development, I decided to represent this through some songs that really affected me. So I grew up in the church, and this is one song that we sang every week. And I didn't really understand the meaning of it when we sang it, but now sometimes it'll just come to me when I'm in my room, and I'll just start humming it. And the meaning of the song is loving those around you with the way, loving others the way God loves them. And the way God loves others is with an unconditional love, and that's something I really strive to do. And there's just something very profoundly beautiful about the simplicity of this song. So, yeah. Jessie J's Price Tag is a song that really emanated with me. And so she talks about authenticity in the song, and that's the message I received. And that's something that I really try to do, to be an authentic individual, because I think nothing beats authenticity. Yeah, shout out to you, Jessie J. And my affinity for rap started in high school. And I think I just really fell in love with the rawness of rap. And one of my favorite songs is Love Yours by J. Cole. And in this song, J. Cole narrates part of his life. He grew up really poor and got really rich. And when he got really rich, he thought life was set. But he sadly realized that, money doesn't buy happiness. And he tells his listeners to love what you have currently, because all the money in the world can't buy certain things. And that's something that I'm a true believer in. And so for my social development, I decided to represent this through the places I've lived. So I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. And there, life was good. I grew up. I remember I was a really shy kid, really afraid of a lot of things. But, I had a decent amount of friends. But one aspect of living there that was hard was there weren't really that many Asians. And kids are mean, and they pick out what's different. So I got bullied a lot for being Asian. I got called Ching Chong and all these other racist things. And those moments still impact me today, actually. And so from Orlando, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And I remember when moving to Georgia, I freaked out, and the entire night before, I ended up crying. And I was really bummed because I was really starting to get close with certain people. But Georgia ended up being good. It was a good 9 months. And from Georgia, oh shoot, this is an ending. But yeah, Georgia was good. Honestly, not too much happened there that I recall, but it was just a simple time in my life. And from Atlanta, it was to Virginia. And Virginia is the place that I consider my home, not Florida or Georgia. And here's where I grew the most socially. It's the place where I really branched out and became friends with a lot of different people. I'm friends with varsity football players, robotics nerds, orc dorks, wrestlers, theater kids, black kids, white kids, Asian kids, Latino kids, people who are rich, who are poor, who are tall, who are skinny, who are thick, who are bald, who are old, who are young, you name it. And that's the thing I'm most grateful for here, for all the relationships and friendships I've been able to create. So thank you just for listening to this project, and I hope you enjoy it.